I want to really move on into, unless you wanted to comment on that particular event. This is months ago now, July.
No, I was just going to say that organization, although the meeting was held in Washington, D.C., they're headquartered about 30 miles from where we live here in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a radical organization, and they really played it up in the media, the fact that Rick Warren was coming to speak there. You know, they felt like they landed the big fish of Christianity, and this was huge for them and really was a big shot in the arm for them. And again, I think if the Apostle Paul had spoken at an event like that, he would have laid out the gospel in a very loving way and said, here's why I believe the way that I do. It's not that I don't love you folks, but we do have some differences, and here's why. And you know, if Warren would have done that, maybe he would have been run out of the place. I don't know, but this world has a way of rewarding compromise. It does, and if you do take a stand for Christ, no matter how loving it is, you're going to tend to be put in a pool with other people who are narrow-minded, and they just insist on believing that Jesus is the only way. And you know, we're not going to get the mass media exposure in a positive way that other people are, and that's just the nature of the world we live in.
Let me just quickly say that Gary Kah is one of our speakers at Understanding the Times 09. Which is coming up October 9th, 10th at Grace Church, Eden Prairie, southwest suburb of Minneapolis. No charge, no reservation needed. You can consult my website for information, Olive Tree Views, Views as in Viewpoint, olivetreeviews.org. You can call my office for the printed program, 763-493-3010. If you listen throughout the hour, that number will be given many times. Speaking as well will be Eric Barger on deception discernment issues, Dr. Ron Rhodes on some eschatology, Bible prophecy related issues. It's Friday night and all day Saturday at Grace Church. Again, no cost. So it's coming up just very, very soon now. Gary, here's what you told me yesterday, and then let me read what jumped out at me at Fox this morning, foxnews.com. Basically, you said, certain forces, I think you mean in Europe, but possibly in other places as well, certain forces have pegged Obama as the best one to deliver all nations into the New World Order. This is why the media, New Agers, and others on the left are behind him. This is his global appeal. Now, I turned to Fox News online this morning. Let me read two paragraphs very quickly. And they say, in a surprising late-night twist, very close to the G Summit meeting in Pittsburgh, Fox News has learned President Obama will announce at this is now, for some of my audience, this is now history, because some of my audience, you're a week or so behind me. Fox News has learned President Obama will announce that, a significant expansion of the consortium of countries that tackle global economic and climate changes. Obama will tell reporters that the G20, comprised of 19 industrial and emerging market countries plus the European Union, will supplant the smaller group of 8 nations, G8, as the go-to group for solving the world's economic ills. And actually the introductory paragraph says the president will announce that the significant expansion of the consortium of countries that tackle global government and climate change issues. But the headline to this story is Obama to usher in New World Order at G20. I'll read that again, folks. Obama is to usher in the New World Order at the G20. Again, some of you will be hearing this program about a week after the G20. Gary, this just plays right into what you told me, that there are many in the global and globalist community who see him as the one to bring about the New World Order or the global government.
Well, for years, globalists in Europe and elsewhere have had as their biggest challenge getting the United States and also Israel into the New World Order. I think they have felt that the other countries would come on board easily enough. The European Union is right there. but how do you deal with the United States and Israel? And so to have someone like Obama in power now, who is a globalist through and through, who's on the same page with these leaders, they're thrilled about it. I mean, some of the statements that Mikhail Gorbachev has made, Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, they've practically been drooling over this man. I mean, this is the moment they've been waiting for, and so they want to move quickly and get as much done as quickly as possible because they feel that Obama is the president that can deliver the United States into the New World Order and therefore give the New World Order a fighting chance of really coming into being in a full-fledged way. And but the power shift has moved toward Europe over the last year since the economic crisis that came into full swing in September of 2008. The Europeans feel that since the United States was the main perpetrator of this crisis, they now have the upper hand and they can tell us what to do. And they're in a position where they can do some of that because they and China and the Arab countries and a few other countries are loaning us money every day just so we can stay afloat. And so the United States is between a rock and a hard place right now. Here's what I believe, Jan, the bottom line. If Obama is able to continue to move their agenda forward and the United States moves closer and closer toward globalization through these various meetings of the G20, the UN, the Copenhagen climate change meeting coming up in December that's going to be huge. If Obama is able to move the United States in their direction successfully, I believe they will continue to give us some financial assistance so that our economy doesn't totally collapse and go off the deep end. However, if Obama is no longer able to deliver because Congress, the American people are waking up and they're opposing him, then I believe at some point, possibly as early as next year, the powers that be could pull the financial plug on us, so to speak, and stop lending us any money. And at that point, within 3 to 6 months, the U.S. would really be in dire straits. And so there's almost a type of behind-the-scenes blackmail going on here. It doesn't involve Obama so much on the blackmail front because I believe he's sold out to globalization. He's part of that agenda. But the blackmail's coming in terms of the American public going along with it. And, if you take someone's job away and they're suddenly on the streets or threatened with starvation, everything changes. And I believe these forces are willing to make the crisis worse if they have to in order to get the United States on board. But as long, again, as Obama's moving their direction, I think they're satisfied with the way things are going right now.
Okay, so if he isn't able to get health care passed, if he isn't able to get cap and trade, also known as cap and trade or cap and tax, if he isn't able to get some of these things, fairness doctrine, which won't be called fairness doctrine, then the powers that be, and the powers that be are primarily in Europe, is that correct?
Yes. In fact, I'll go into some detail on this.
Not right now because I have a break coming
up. Okay,
and you can do
I'll hit it after the break. But yes, I will just say that Europe is the main power that is driving this, and some of the other countries are cooperating and going along with it. But the real punch for the one world movement is European based. No question about it.
Okay. So the fact that there could be, and I never thought I'd use this term in my entire life, that there could be some sort of a shadow government, actually the shadow government could be coming out of Europe more so than America. I need a 10-second answer.
As long as the United Nations is headquartered here, the United States will probably have some input, but the main power behind the UN is coming from Europe, and it's always been that way.
All right, we're going to pick up on that on the other side of our break, folks.